What's up everybody, welcome back to Sir Noir Gaming, and today we're going to have a look at top 5 co-op games you can play on PS4. And actually I do have a bit of a surprise with one of them, because I didn't realise something while I found it, but we'll get over that in a minute. So let's start off with number 5, let's just jump straight into it here. Let's start off with the worst ones. They're not the worst ones, they're actually quite good, but they are like towards the end of the list when you've got other options that you could use. So here we go, number 5 is, ironically, Resident Evil 5. I did not number them based on the number, but some of these are quite funny to me. So anyway, let's jump into it. Why Resident Evil 5 is a good co-op game for PS4. So it is a fun co-op game for sure. There are a lot of restrictions though, unfortunately, so you have to reach the checkpoint in order to save, for both of your consoles to save and all this weird stuff, and it's very singular, linear story, so you just literally progress like as you go, so it has very little replayability kind of. But that's usually not an issue with console games anyway, because a lot of them are just like that. If you do happen to play alone sometimes in Resident Evil 5, you might find the AI is a little bit potato. And this is not just my opinion, I think a lot of people have said this. I mean, you'll see what happens. I think the female, I can't remember her name, but she's good with the bow. So if you get her a bow, she'll be quite pleased and shoot some zombies in the face for you. So it's a really fun co-op game. It is quite difficult at times, so you will have some challenging boss fights that you really have to work together to do well. And I found it quite enjoyable when we ran on other co-op options, and it is couch co-op, so you do get split screen mode, and it's going to be beautiful and wonderful in every way. So if you're looking for a split screen couch co-op game to play with your friend, then feel free to play Resident Evil 5. It does only support 2 players this way, but there are online options for you as well. So in addition to the amazing campaign, you can also join up with your friends in weird survival modes and all sorts of legendary challenges like mercenary mode, which is like PvP version, I think. I didn't really get into that myself, but they are there, so have a look into it and see what you think. The campaign is actually quite a decent size, I would say. You can get quite a good few hours out of it. And the good part about Resident Evil 5, why I don't mention Resident Evil 6, 7 doesn't even have a co-op anymore. Unfortunately, Resident Evil 6 got rid of a lot of good features that 5 had, such as trading between your characters. Yeah, the trading was good. Why did you take it out? Capcom, please. And the best part about Resident Evil 5, well, not the best part, but one of the good points is that it's also available on PC. I don't think you can cross-match PS4 and PC, but you can play on your PC if you so choose to do so, but you do need to buy the game separately as well. It is quite cheap these days. You can pick it up secondhand for not very much money, especially on PS4. And that is pretty much it for Resident Evil 5, so if you are running out of ideas, that could be one to check out. And at number 4, we've got another zombie apocalypse game, and this is Dying Light. If you haven't heard of this game, it is actually quite a Slavic turn on the zombie apocalypse. So you are in the slums, you start off in, and you really don't have much choice to do with weapons. It's pretty much you've got a 2x4 or a metal pole. And if you like the hardcore type of survival games, you would probably like Dying Light, because it does shit gets real at night, I'm not joking. It's crazy. You don't want to go out at night. I was just stuck in the main base. And there is a lot of parkour in Dying Light, so if you really enjoy like action-based combat and parkour type things like hopping fences and jumping roofs and running across the roofs and all that kind of stuff, then Dying Light is for you. It is very difficult. There is no split screen on this game, unfortunately, so it is going to be online co-op, but you can play with your friends through the campaign. So as soon as you get through the very beginning story introduction, then you can play the campaign mode throughout with your friends, like unlimited, all fine. And your weapons don't last you very long, they will constantly break. So, and I have barely found any actual kind of weapons like guns and ammo and stuff. Maybe I was just unlucky, but in my experience I was pretty much stuck with a pole the whole time. Maybe I found a knife like here and there, but for the most part you're on your own there, buddy. So strap on in for that one. And this game is also available on PC, so if you wanted to try it on PC instead, go ahead, fire up on there. It's not fully optimized for PC, I wouldn't say. It does have some, it uses your computer's full potential for sure. So if you don't have the strongest computer, I would suggest probably sticking to the console version. Number 3 of our best co-op campaign games. Not only co-op campaign, but also, this is kind of where it gets interesting. So this particular game doesn't actually have a co-op mode, unfortunately. It is co-op mode, but not co-op campaign. So what we have to look into here is the fun factor of this game, which is quite hilarious. So if you haven't already heard of it, it's Far Cry 4. At number 3, Far Cry 4. It does eat up your computer quite fast if you're running on PC, but it also is available on PS4, so don't worry about that. There is no split screen on this game, unfortunately, so it will be online co-op. And it is pretty much an open world type thing where you just go raiding bases and stuff together and just have a laugh. And you can also join, I think, these weird online rooms that people have made, like their own little version of Far Cry. So they have like this little island with a certain objective that has to be fulfilled to beat the map. So there's a lot of cool things you could do together on that. So if you're not looking for like a full story, but something you could just hop into and just start doing whatever, then Far Cry is a good option. But keep in mind, in order to get to the co-op part of the game, you will have to play through the story first to get into the introduction section all out of the way. So the whole like first scenario you have to do first, basically, before you can start playing with your friend. And the progression that you make in the world, yours will save, but the person that joins you, their progression will not save. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If they're kind of upset about that, then it might not be a game worth looking at. The main story is again completely solo, so if you want to progress through the story, you'll have to do that yourself, and so will your friend. So it's a little bit annoying that they did that, but it is still quite fun to mess around and like kill some rhinos or something, I don't know. Check it out, guys, for sure, it's a good one. And at number 2 we have, this is the questionable one that I said at the beginning, so it is Gears of War 4, and my research was very rubbish, so you can punish me for that in the comments. It is only on Xbox right now, unfortunately, so no way to get it on PS4, but it is a split-screen, co-op, third-person shooter, and it is a relatively new game, so if you're looking for something a bit more fresh, then you might want to check out Gears of War 4. The co-op campaign isn't the longest out of some of these other games. It is apparently 9 hours. I haven't played it myself, unfortunately, so I can't speak too much about it. I have played all these other games. In addition to the co-op campaign, Gears of War 4 has a lot of cool, fun co-op online play as well. So they've got different kinds of survival games. There's one called Warzone where you only have one life, and it's kind of like a team deathmatch type thing, but everyone only has one life, so like classic old style, you know? And then you've also got the standard team deathmatch. And the co-op campaign, this is what I found really cool about Gears of War 4. There are 2 available players on the co-op campaign, and one of them is a female. So if you are a girl gamer and you are sick of playing big sweaty men, then you get a female in this one. Obviously it's not a big deal on a co-op game if you're playing a man, it's not such a big deal. If you were in an MMO, it's kind of weird, because you can't, I guess like in an MMO you'd be like, this character is me. This game is available on PC as well through the Xbox purchase. It is an Xbox exclusive, unfortunately, so Gears of War 4 is not on PS4, so this game kind of killed it for the PS4 list. Sorry guys. Forgive me, but you can replace it with GTA 5 if you want to. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a very good alternative. And at number 1, I am a die-hard fan of this game. Some of you probably won't like it as much as I do, but to me, it is one of the best co-op campaigns in existence. It is fully split-screen, couch co-op, fully online co-op as well, up to 4 players. It's getting fancy now. And it is none other than Borderlands, and essentially the whole series is good. And now, when I say that, I don't mean like every single game is amazing, but just look into getting Borderlands The Handsome Collection, because it includes Borderlands 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. And if you want to know what the pre-sequel means, don't ask me because I'm not quite sure, but it happened before the sequel of 1. I don't know, something weird. It's like an in-between story that they just kind of added in. It was the shortest one. But anyway, I would just suggest getting all 3 of them. They're not available on PS4 separately, so they were actually on PS3. But they made the Handsome Collection, which now allows you to get all 3 games onto PS4, which is quite nice, I would say. And Borderlands 1 was the original Borderlands. It was a solid game. It was pretty fun with your friends. It was pretty revolutionary as well, I would say. The cel-shaded style was pretty awesome. Then they kicked it off with Borderlands 2, and that is literally the best game I've ever played in my life. As a PS4 game, or any kind of smaller co-op game, not an MMO, but Borderlands is definitely the most fun you'll probably have with your friends in a game ever. Just try it. That's all I can say, really. It just got really good. They really improved a lot of the features from Borderlands 1. There's a lot of unlimited cool loot and stuff you can find. Tons of side quests, tons of stories, tons of good music, and also random items. So there's apparently an infinite amount of item combinations you can get in the game. So it is a first-person shooter, but it's cel-shaded. It looks funky. It's got awesome weapons that can go very fast, so you can get items that can beast up your speed of firing your weapon, and it's literally like the craziest thing ever. It's just focused on fun. Like, if someone literally made a game purely focused on fun, it's Borderlands 2, no doubt about that. And then we move on to the pre-sequel, which is the shortest of the three, and it lacked a bit of the Borderlands 2 feel. It's not a full game. They admitted that from the start. It wasn't a full game of Borderlands. They are making a third one at some point. We don't know yet. But it's still a decent game. If you've played already 1 and 2, definitely hit up Borderlands 3. They do have a lot of DLCs as well, so downloadable content. I know you guys are going to be like, no, not more of this downloadable content. But trust me, they are actually good. They're not that bad. And usually if you can get them on a sale, for example, Borderlands is available on PC as well. Look at that. So if you do happen to get it on a Steam sale, it can be quite cheap. Like, really cheap. The fun it brings is pretty good. You get all sorts of cool costumes that you can have your character wear and just make your character fun, you know? Just have some fun in there. I would say, if I had to describe Borderlands as well, it's almost like an MMO setup, but with just 4 people, because you have like the main story quest, you have a bunch of side quests in town to do. You can just go out and start doing these weird loot runs and just killing bosses and just making them drop all their loot, or go out farming for special legendary drops and stuff. So yeah, I think it's totally worth checking out. You won't regret buying Borderlands The Handsome Collection. Make sure you get that one, because again, like I said, 1 and 2 are still on PS. So yeah, again, Borderlands 4-player, split screen co-op, both on PS4 and PC, and it is the best co-op campaign I have ever played. Alright, so obviously I'm very enthusiastic about Borderlands because that's my favourite game in the world. And some of you may not agree, which is fine, because this is my list of top 5 co-op PS4 games that you can play with your friends, because I feel like there's a lack of them lately. And that's probably why Borderlands is such a big one, because it's got everything. It's got everything you need. Some honourable mentions, as always in my video, there always needs to be honourable mentions. So Army of Two, unfortunately I was going to put that in my list, but then it was on PS3, so I didn't realise how old I was. Then Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has a full co-op campaign. I didn't mention it because it was a bit... It's a bit weird, let's be honest. It's a little bit strange, but it is another option if you're running out of co-op games to play with your friends. So it's a good one to see. Destiny, of course. A lot of people absolutely love Destiny. For me, it didn't quite grab me. It kind of put me off that it ended at level 25, like the main story. So I was a bit like, do I really want to... Yeah, so I just kind of felt like that about Destiny, but it is quite a good game still to play with other people. I loved Halo. That was like the best ever. I remember back in the day playing Halo with my best buds at their house on split screen. Oh, fun times. And of course, if you want another co-op game, Lego Star Wars, pretty much any of them. Just pick one. They usually have some ridiculous story you can play through fully with your friends without any worries. So it is, I think, 4 people for that one. Lego Star Wars. Perfect. Okay. And of course, like I said, GTA 5 for the Gears of War 4 replacement. But again, another solid one. And these, I don't think many people think of these when they think of a co-op game for PS4. Final Fantasy XIV and Elder Scrolls Online are both on PS4. Now, there's just one difference between these two MMOs. Final Fantasy XIV allows you to play with Xbox, PS4, and PC, all on the same servers. So what that means is that your friend that has a PC can play with your friend that has an Xbox, who can play with you that has a PS4. So it's all combined and connected, which is, I think, the way forward, because it is killing off a lot of MMOs these days. where you can only get in with a PC, and it's just a higher level of entry. A lot of people don't have computers, they don't have the money for computers, they don't have the time. It's a lot easier to go buy a PS4 for like a third of the price and have all the games you want. So I think they're going in the right direction with that for sure. You can see that with Elder Scrolls, who doesn't do that. So PS4 is separate and the PC is separate. So what happens there is actually a lot of people that are on PS4, a lot of people are on PS4 on Elder Scrolls. There's a lot more players. On PC, it's a little bit emptier, quite a lot emptier actually, comparatively. So what happens is there's a separation of players here. So there's PC all on their own over here, but they're like a minority. And then there's PS4 with like this big community going on. But then the PC players are kind of being left out and like all this weird stuff. I think just let them all come together. Just have a good time together. I know it has some different hurdles to acquire. Different hurdles, so Final Fantasy figured out that it would be better to make a really slow casting / attack speed to let the console peasants keep up with the PC players. I'm joking. I know you guys aren't peasants. So anyway, that is my top 5 list of best co-op campaign PS4 games you can get. Not even just best co-op campaign, because some of them don't have a campaign, but just best co-op games in general that may or may not have split screen or have a story that you can play through as we move forward in the future. Maybe we'll find more beautiful games to play, but let's go through the list again. So we've got Resident Evil 5 at number 5, Dying Light at number 4, Far Cry 4 at number 3, Gears of War 4 at number 2, and of course the Borderlands series at number 1. So if anyone's got any other comments or suggestions, just feel free to drop them down below and let me know what you guys think is some of the best co-op games you can play on PS4 or Xbox even. Let's bring in them to this discussion as well. I'm not leaving anyone out here. So anyway, make sure you subscribe, click the notification link, the bell, click that thing, and also like this video if you did enjoy and found it useful. So until next time, we will see you again. A goodbye.